Great graphics and art direction? Check. Intuitive, tight, responsive controls? Check. Good level design for different skilled gamers? Check. Replayability? Check. Couch co-op multiplayer? Check. Lovable characters, good bosses, and super polished? Check. 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 Must play super fun gaming experience? Uncheck. Welcome to completion number 10 of the Potato Backlog project. Stick around to the end of the video for the Tater Raider. Let's talk about Yoshi's Crafted World. Have you ever played a game where everything happening in it and everything you're doing is great? Everything you personally look for in a great gaming experience is right there, but something isn't quite right. Something's missing. You don't know what, you can't quite put your finger on it, but you continue to play, kind of waiting for the game to really kick in and get going, and it just never really happens. You finish the game and you're left kind of unsatisfied. That's how I felt with Yoshi's Crafted World, and I came up with 2 reasons why I think that is. Multiplayer co-op leaving a really bad taste in my mouth is one of the reasons. The other is the scattered, kind of unorganized feeling of it all. The layout and feel of the world map, where the gems you need to collect are, how the levels are laid out, how you move on to the next parts of the map, and how much that costs. This may have been intentional due to the nature of the graphical representation here, the crafted world itself, the kind of overall theme they're going for. Maybe it's meant to feel messy and just thrown together, but I feel like it could have been done in a better way. One that paces the game out better, with a much better feel. You're tasked with locating 5 gems to save some wish thing. It's crazy Yoshi story. Where the gems and bosses are feels sloppy and it has no real direction. So the pacing of the levels and feelings of accomplishment you get from moving through the game, it feels off to me. You go way too long between big payoffs, big moments. Through the levels, you're collecting smiley face flowers. It's basically like a currency which you need to open the next areas on the map. And early on, you're made to feel like this will be the way you open each new world, each new area, each new section that will have one of the 5 gems you need. This doesn't really end up being the case, as you can go through entire areas with no gem boss. And even the cost to unlock the areas didn't make any sense to me. Sometimes it was 15, sometimes it was 10, other times 20. The only time it made any sense was the last area, which cost the most out of all the areas to open at 30. That made sense. The game does tell you early on that it's up to you to decide which gems you want to go for first, which areas of the map you want to go to, and this is fine. Giving the player the option to choose is great, but the map and levels should have been organized in a way where this made more sense for the player. 5 gems should have had 5 distinct worlds or separate areas, and maybe like a central location to link them all to. Something that paces out the experiences into little mini payoffs, and it keeps you excited about moving on, getting to the next section. If you don't build on experiences in a game as you go on, everything ends up kind of just flatlining and you're just going through the motions. I'm disappointed I felt this way as I moved through the game, because there's some great fun to be had there. There's some great levels in there and some really great boss battles. I enjoyed the Kamek Bowser Jr. dynamic, the way the bosses were magically formed out of crafting materials together, the mechanics of those battles themselves, all those things were super great. There's also lots of fun stuff to do inside all the levels. There's really great level diversity, even outside the standard stuff. There's like whack-a-mole style level, ride along on a train shooting stuff, airplane level, giant mecha Yoshi punching things, solar powered race cars. Lots of fun and variety to shake things up. The replayability is there for the completionists. Even when you finish a level, you then get the option to play the backside of it kind of and search for little mini poochies. Lots of items to collect as well. There's good value for your dollar here with this game. Multiplayer was a pretty big miss for me personally. The madness it represents might be fun for some, but for me it felt frustrating and counterintuitive. You get the odd funny moment, but in the end you want it to feel like a cooperative fun experience. One of the bigger problems is you can't control when you or your partner jump on each other's back. If you're in the air and you get too close, it automatically teams you up. This changes who can shoot eggs, who is controlling the running and jumping, and it feels really jarring when it happens without you wanting it to. The same goes for the ability to eat the other Yoshi. This can be useful in certain situations to save your partner, but other times when you don't want to do it, it ends up being annoying because your partner loses all their eggs and they have to wait for you to decide to release them. Even if you have great communication with your partner, these things happen on accident far too much, just because of the nature of the game and how the levels are designed and how often you're forced to be really close together. If the option was there for the players to choose when these team up moments happen, there might have been a better experience to be had here. And it's unfortunate that they went with the choices they did for this, because I love couch co-op multiplayers and more games should have these options. 3 happy potato faces out of 5 for Yoshi. It's a game that has all the ingredients to be a 5 out of 5. It just doesn't find a way to put them all together. For me though, this is a great game to have if you have gamers at different skill level in your house. If you enjoy a more casual gaming experience with low stress, or if you just like playing through great level design with super polished controls. This game just didn't hit the peaks that I felt it could, and it didn't quite pay off for me. That special feeling just wasn't quite there for me with this game. Graphically though, it's a super neat looking game. I could have done a whole video just on how cool I think the game looks. It looks great. It's very cool. But with that, the BackLog project rolls on. Be kind to yourselves and others that deserve it. Thank you so much for watching. We're on to the next one. Woo! Check. Yoshi, save me.
Check.
Yosh.